What's up, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood HugKnuckles back again with another reaction video, as always by my side, Hot Sam. Hot Sam, and today we're coming at you with 1, 2, 3, 4 World of Remnants. These are the first 4 that you have to get through in order to get to Volume 4, Chapter 1. And it looks like each one of them is just a really short clip between like 2 to 3 minutes about each one of the 4 kingdoms. The first one is Vale, and then it goes through all the rest of them. So I figured instead of making individual videos for each one, so you guys have to go through all those and watch them, or just not watch them at all before you get into Chapter 1, I figured just make it easy. Get a one-stop shop. Watch me right here. We're probably going to be doing that on Chibi as well, kind of bundling some up.
Yeah.
Yes, we are doing RWBY Chibi as well, so go ahead and check that out, or Chibi, whatever you want to say.
I miss it.
So this is the first one. This one is Vale. Let's check it out.
Let's do it.
I'm not entirely sure what these are.
Well, school's definitely out, but let's see if we can't all learn a little something. Welcome to the world of Remnant. Not the best place to live, but depending on where you're staying, it can get a little easier. You've got towns and villages that pop up as fast as they fall. The faunas have menagerie, but the sweet spots are Vale, Mistral, Atlas, and Vacuo, the 4 kingdoms of the modern era, and each one's special in its own little way. Let's talk about Vale. In the grand scheme of things, Vale's pretty well guarded. It rests on the northeastern end of the world's largest continent, Sanus. Like most successful kingdoms, Vale's survival over the years can mostly be attributed to prime real estate. Its front is protected by steep mountains, and its back is against waters too shallow for any real threat to pop out of. Not to say I haven't heard some crazy fish stories. Aside from the main city, which the kingdom's named after, the Vale territory also extends to several neighboring cities farther along the northwest coastline, as well as a small island named Patch. Nice place to raise a family, if you're into that sort of thing. Of course, all attempts to extend the kingdom's reach past the mountains and farther into the mainland have been colossal failures. But, like I said, in the grand scheme of things, Vale ain't half bad. Regular climate, natural barriers, and some serious border defenses means the citizens of Vale can spend less time worrying about survival and more time just living their lives. Of course, with the fall of Beacon, everyone's a little more worried these days. And they should be.
They should be. Okay. So it looks like, I wonder if it's just going to give us like a little update as to what's going on with each of the kingdoms, because it didn't seem like we got a lot of info on that one, but we haven't really learned a lot about the other kingdoms to begin with. And I mean, it's like a geography lesson?
Yeah.
It's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
And a little bit of history. I wonder if Crow is the one that does all of them.
I don't know. But I'm like you, like I want to know what that other little island is.
I wonder if that's where Salem is. Because wherever she was, it seems like it looked like another planet.
Yeah.
It looked completely different from anything else, and she looked completely different from anything else.
Yeah, she was like an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and check out Mistral.
Okay.
Right. Where were we?
Let's go again. All right, cool.
The east of Sanus is Remnant's second largest landmass, Anima. That's where you'll find the kingdom of Mistral. Of the 4 kingdoms, Mistral has the most controlled territory, meaning you'll find a wider variety of ecosystems and lifestyles. Trust me, this place is something for everyone, for better or worse. The high society folks of Mistral are known worldwide for their contributions to fashion, architecture, theater, all the things that make the world pretty and tolerable. But its lower class has got a fame of its own. Mistral's home to the biggest black market on the planet. Need something that's hard to find? Got someone that's hard to kill? They can help, provided you've got the end to pay for it. There's one common thread that links all these people together, though, and that's their respect for nature, particularly the sea and the sky. The natural resources and geography of the area impacted Mistral's culture and technology in a big way. Its first settlers found shelter high up in the wind-carved cliffs, and as their population grew, so did their ability to utilize the land to its fullest potential. A real bunch of forward thinkers. Of course, the bigger the kingdom, the harder it is to govern. There's a reason traders and thieves flock to Mistral. The main city's right under the council's eye, sure, but places like Windpath and Kuchinashi start to get a little farther out of sight. There's plenty of places to hide in Mistral.
What?
That's why you gotta know where to look.
It's like more shady. I like that it kind of I like this. I like how they're giving a little background to the different areas so you kind of feel more immersed into the world. And it seems like Mistral sounds like a place that Crow would be cool with, because it's like more of like a smuggler's, like kind of like a rogue's area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he speaks like as if he knows about that.
Yeah, exactly. Like that just seems like his style really well. The cool thing that I like about these so far is that the art did not change in these.
Yeah.
So even though in the series it appears that the animation's completely different, I really enjoy the art style of the World of Remnants.
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me somewhat of like Crash Course, kind of, if you guys watch a I mean, it's drastically different, but that kind of like 2D, like side scroller type feel. But I really like it a lot. The next one is gonna be Atlas.
Yes, I'm excited.
So this is where the Shnees are from.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's.
I suppose it's time we talked about the fine people at the top of the world. Atlas is Remnant's youngest and arguably most successful kingdom, but it's a bit of a special case. See, before the Great War, there was no Atlas. There was Mantle. At some point in time, a group of settlers were crazy enough to venture out into the northernmost continent of Solitas. I guess when you're that desperate, a frozen hunk of rock doesn't seem like such a bad place to call home. As a matter of fact, the harsh weather conditions proved to be just as useful as the mountain ranges when it came to keeping the creatures of Grim at bay. It also kept the people of Mantle from flourishing. Humanity's got a neat trick up its sleeve, though. Whenever we're faced with a problem, our inclination is to find a solution. The cold climate of Solitas forced its settlers to adapt. They developed a more advanced technology, and they did it faster than the rest of the world, because they had to survive. But it was the Great War that really kicked things off. New forms of dust application and weaponry allowed Mantle to expand. More and more territory was set aside for dust mining and research. The territory beside the kingdom's combat school, Alcius, was the most opportune area to construct a new R&D facility. But by the time things were all said and done, it would be much, much more. Alcius was reopened as Atlas after the Great War to house many of the warriors now seeking guidance in an effort to give back to the citizens. Mantle applied all sorts of new dust techniques and technologies it had used in the war to beef up the Academy's campus. The school grounds expanded faster than they could have imagined, and even helped to better secure the surrounding areas. It wasn't long before the kingdom's military moved in, then the labs and research facilities, and eventually even residential areas.
That's Mr. Schnee, right? Because of the mustache.
In time, it became apparent that the city of Mantle was living in Atlas' shadow. So the decision was made to move the kingdom's capital. Mantle was old news, and the kingdom of Atlas was born. A golden age of prosperity, they called it. But those left behind in Mantle would probably tell you that it was the coldest winter they ever knew.
That seems fitting with the Schnee family, though.
Yeah.
Personally. Okay, so now we're coming up on the last one. This is Vacuo. And I think it's the one we know really the least about.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure, because Mistral, we at least know that's where Cinder's from.
Yeah.
Because she said specifically she was from Mistral, but I don't think we really know much else about Mistral other than that. But Vacuo, I don't think I know anything about.
I feel like, I don't know. Someone's from there because I've heard it. I've heard it been talked about.
Now, if there's one kingdom that's had it harder than the people of Mantle, it's Vacuo, the last of the 4 great kingdoms. The western end of Sanus is a barren and desolate wasteland. But long ago, before man went and ruined everything, it was a paradise. In the center of the vast desert was an oasis unlike anything you'd ever seen. A jungle bursting with natural resources, geographical defenses, and the world's largest recorded deposit of dust. Nomads that survived the journey across the scorching sands settled down in this little hidden gem, and over time the kingdom of Vacuo thrived. Unfortunately, comfort breeds weakness. While the rest of Remnant had to learn and adapt in order to survive, Vacuo's ancient society kicked back and lived a life of complacency. But when other, more developed kingdoms set their eyes on everything Vacuo had to offer, its citizens couldn't do anything to stop them from taking it. Years of human conflict, unrestricted mining, and ecological disasters have changed Vacuo. The paradise that was once there is practically indistinguishable from the surrounding deserts. Citizens live in makeshift homes, uprooting and traveling frequently in response to the fleeting resources and occasional attacks from the creatures of Grim. After the Great War, a formal government was finally established. But by that point, the folks living in Vacuo didn't much care to uphold its laws, making Shade Academy the only real source of order in the kingdom. But order isn't everything. Vacuo may not be as prim and proper as the other 3 kingdoms, but it's still standing. And the people there have a mutual respect for one another. See, there's really only one unspoken rule in Vacuo. If you can survive here, then you're welcome here. So, there you have it. Vale, Mistral, Atlas, and Vacuo. You know, Oz would always say that the 4 kingdoms were a representation of what mankind is capable of when working together. Ever the optimist. We sure could use him now.
Okay.
Alright, so on that last one, did you notice on the back, like, there was, like, this little image on the wall?
And what?
And like, right there towards the end.
You gotta give me something
Here,
to work with.
let me
Here.
go back.
Oops.
It was before
What was it
this.
like? Just explain what it was.
It was like, whenever it was kind of, like, moving across, like, on, like, that beige background, it looked like there was, like, a face.
There was this.
No.
Is it in the bar?
It was before this.
Okay.
It was right there.
What do you
Just
think it looked
press
like?
play. You see it?
Wait, right here?
It was more than
Hold
that.
up. This is what she's got.
There's like little faces as it goes across.
Traveling
Hit play right there. There's
response.
one.
That looks like Buddha or something.
There's like little like images.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it. I can see what you're saying.
And then there was another one that was like more of like it looked like a woman's face.
I don't think it's anything that was like...
Intentional?
Yeah. I mean, or like that had anything to do with anything.
You don't?
I don't think so.
I was wondering if it was like something or if it was like...
I don't think it was anything. I think it was
Okay.
just background.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, it may be.
It's
I
just
don't
weird.
look that deep into that type of stuff, especially for like the world of Remnants.
A lot of people say that there's like a lot of Easter eggs. And so like I'm like...
I don't know.
It like caught my eye and so I'm like, is that something that we don't know?
Yeah.
Or...
I mean, it could be, but I doubt it. I
Yeah.
doubt it like actually means anything
Yeah.
as far as these go. Because I mean, there's a lot of random stuff you can see in the backgrounds.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think out of these, Vacuo was the one we knew the least about
Yeah.
because I didn't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like at least Atlas, I knew some stuff. Mistral, I knew a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it seems like Vacuo is the one we knew the least about, and I
Yeah.
don't know if we've seen any characters from Vacuo.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Like I've heard people talking about it, but
I heard them talking about it when they were talking about the kingdom.
yeah. So I don't know if that's what it is or if someone was like saying that they are from there.
I don't think we've seen any characters that would be like have that attitude like they're from there.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
So.
But I am interested to find out what the other continent is and why there isn't a kingdom there.
Exactly, because like they mentioned the other one in like the bottom right. It
The
has
menagerie or whatever.
Yeah,
Or the
and
faunus.
then they didn't say anything about that one, and it's obviously something.
Yeah, and I mean it's obvious that they're going out of their way not to mention it.
Exactly, because like everybody who watches this right now has to be like, okay, what is that? You know what I mean?
At that point, yeah. I mean, they may tell us within the coming series. That may be why they did these explanations. I don't know. Normally, when we go through these, they're giving us all this background information so we know something going into the next part of the series. So most likely, we're going to be going into these kingdoms in the first couple episodes of the new volume. And this will give us a little more information on the people that we're going to see.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Because it seems like all of the kingdoms kind of need to come together right now, you know what I mean? Because of everything that's going on.
Come together or...
go at each other.
My theory is that there's going to be war now, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. If you like this video, click that like button. It turns blue when you touch it. Not everything does. And if you want to see our future videos, get that subscribe button. Welcome to the fam. We're going to be jumping into volume for the actual chapters very soon. We had to get through all these videos, though, to get all that background information we need and all that type of stuff. So that way we can get into the chapters and kind of know what we're getting into. But yeah, we'll have more videos out soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.